present, and Arthur. Arthur Ross, as always, is supporting an important series, and in this case a very important subject, and as very frequently with Arthur, he's supporting a subject which isn't necessarily universally popular, but which he thinks is important. For those who believe that, for all its faults and weaknesses, the UN is eventually an indispensable organization, Franklin Roosevelt, the father of the Charter, and Eleanor Roosevelt, the presiding spirit of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, are an abiding inspiration. And our speaker, Bill Vandenhoel, is the co-chair of the Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt Institute, and has done as much as anyone, I think, to foster their very great legacy. And so it's not surprising that Bill should be the most eloquent, the most effective champion, and also the most constructive critic of the world organization that Franklin Roosevelt conceived. Bill, of course, has himself experienced at first hand the pitfalls, the strengths, and the surprising caprices of the United Nations. He was the U.S. ambassador in the United States mission in New York. He was the U.S. ambassador in Geneva. I think he's the only U.S. ambassador, perhaps the only human being, who has ever been drenched with red paint in company with a Soviet ambassador. And this will remain a unique feat, because of course now we can't have only Soviet ambassadors, so it's really a remarkable thing to have done. I must say that the enemies of the UN is really, unfortunately, a terrific subject. In a recent speech, Bill asked, what would the UN and our world be like if the American government truly wanted the UN to succeed? Among the UN's enemies, I'm sure that Bill will deal with the usual suspects. And of course, there are other enemies far less conspicuous and probably even more insidious. Apathy, lack of vision or interest in the future, the next national election, obsessions of sovereignty, and even sometimes the age-old diplomatic way of doing things. So we have a uniquely qualified speaker, and Bill, we're all waiting to hear what you have to say.